Okay, here we go. I'm gonna go over this one that you just saw. I'm bringing it in nice and slow, and I'm just gonna note a couple of features here. Please notice this area here, and here, and this third one here, and the shape of them, more importantly. This shape, this fin-like shape with a 90-degree angle going on top of this bar here. And I'll also point out for some researchers that know what this is, the double X right there. And inside the center here is where you always want to pay attention to on all these mnemonics. We're going to show you that it's that simple. Just pay attention to this area, pay attention to these shapes right here. And we'll get on to some other examples here. And you'll start to see some patterns that are quite astounding. Right here, the way that this breaks even, they use this 90-degree shape right there again. And once again, the double X's. This area back here, this ring of light, will play into this. And that's about it to show you on this feature. This one was used for the beginning of this video because of the audio mostly. The audio is the harmonics used in the audio are a big part of this mind control. Okay, so just start to notice those shapes that I pointed out before and the rest of these, and the counter rotating circles.
It's Friday, and that means it's not top 10 time.
Hey, at number 9, Greg. That's why you can't. That's why you can't. That's why you can't.
you.
When Lee Smith still, it happens to me all the time.
Well, guess what? Tree. Texas loses. What? Romeo says.
And I love that dude. God. That was all necessary, but.
Okay, so now we're going to connect some of the dots. This is where it starts to get really interesting because we're getting into the meat of it. Where I told you in these mnemonic circles to pay attention to is sort of in the core down in here, as you can see right in here. And on this one in particular, pay close attention to what is going on down here where the cursor is. Really look at that closely because the next one that we're going to look at is going to look very familiar to you if you pay attention to these little circles here. So you can see them down there. Kind of moving it very slowly. And now I'm going to go back again. You see how everything's originating from down in there. Bright white light down in there. Okay, this is where everything's happening. But these little arches are going to be very important here in a second. So I'm going up this way, forward, so you can look at them and keep your eyes down there towards the bottom and back again. So really get a real good look at how these are little arcs, partial circles, and they're all twisting different directions. They're going in a circular pattern in opposing directions. And this is going to look real familiar to you. And what I'm going to do is just go through some more of this this one that we just reviewed and point out some more things that will look very familiar. Please notice these please notice these striations right here. These striations are going to come into play too. And just notice down here these circles that I pointed out before, because all of this will start to look very familiar to you in regards to other video that we're going to look at. Here again, this shape, this arch with this 90 degree. I know this shot is a little blurry right here because it's just sort of a transition screen. And again, these are just, and understand, these are highly technical. Look at how detailed all of this is just for a fraction of a second of time. Which means this is being targeted towards your subconscious mind on purpose, because these folks that are making these things know that your conscious mind does not perceive these things at this frame rate. You cannot even pick up on it consciously, which is the whole point. So I'll continue to go slowly forward, and we'll notice certain shapes again. This interlocking pattern will be visible over and over and over again to you in different mnemonic circles, sequences, on different channels, on TV, in different programs that you're being programmed with. And so here we go. Here's another spinning mnemonic that comes right out of the center of that one. And everything spins in here. I'm going to kind of just go through this now until we come to some more parts. And again, there's the count up. So as this thing starts off, it's a count up. So watch, it shows you 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10. It's a count up, okay? And then the next process is a count down. And what they do, and all of this is well documented, and if you research mind control and hypnosis and hypnotic techniques, it's well documented that if you want to put somebody in a very, very deep trance, one way to do it is to bring them up and down, in and out of hypnotic states. And so I'm going real slow right here so you can see all the little meticulous turnings. Now look at this. This is several frames right here. What is that about? Why does it do that? You see this? Highly technical, highly detailed. Over here we have again the QR-like code, and if you can get this in a very high def shot, which I'm doing the best I can here in this video with the equipment I have to work with, but all of these rings, this red ring, this narrow yellow ring, and this outer yellow ring, which is all present on both sides, has within it that type of apparent coding, and it looks very much like the QR coding.
Let's get to the Ask Alex. We're going to come back and go to Nathan in England and Stephen in Arizona and a few others that have been patiently holding Mike in Missouri. And I haven't even gotten to the gun stuff yet. I'm pretty much kind of shell-shocked at this point.
By now it should be obvious that there's something very suspicious going on with these mnemonics and that they deserve a closer look. And this is the last one we're going to look at. Here we go again, the opposing circles. Very interesting radiation sign in the middle to white light, which is also well-known hypnotic trance-inducing method, the bright white light. And I'm sure you're recognizing these shapes. Of course, this is a different mnemonic altogether. We haven't looked at this one previously in this video, so if you are seeing some things that look familiar, which I hope you are by now, just take note that this is a completely different mnemonic, and this one is actually telling a story. And this mnemonic, inside of the subconscious, inside of this magical area that's being created here, and in front of this radiation sign that you just saw before, is a highly energetic ball being created that will be shot out of this mnemonic, and that is telling a story, because that is one of the things that is happening with these mnemonics. I guess one could call them demonics, in that they are being utilized to put thought forms inside of the viewer, and that's exactly what the story is that this one is telling. There's a strange little, if I get it stopped, very interesting imagery in the centers of these. So I hope that people do what I'm doing here basically, and go get these mnemonics downloaded to your computers and check them out too. And you'll obviously, first and foremost, you'll notice that there's so much detail in frame by frame that this is definitely more than what most people think is going on here. So here it is being shot through that tube, and here we go again. Now this is another, and I mean, just look at this. This is obviously hypnosis going on here. It's trying to create a trance, and I'll go through it very slow, and just take note that each one of these is just a millisecond long, although look at the detail. Okay, Keep going. Just creeping along here so that you can see each little detail as it goes. Okay, now he's kind of switched direction now. Here the energy is going through. And now we'll see it spin up again. And the ring of light again right there. All these rings are important. Very strange imagery inside of the ball again. As you go through this one frame by frame, which I have already, it's very interesting what you see inside there. I'll try to go kind of slow here. But so basically that's, I mean, what does this have to do with sports, right? I mean, this is telling a story. It's telling you basically what they're doing with it, which, as most researchers would know, sort of a divine law requirement that they tell you what they're doing as they do it. And so that's what's going on here. This is very interesting. I suggest that everybody do this themselves on their own computers and look into this. Now here we go again. Now this is very telling again as it goes right. Here we go. I'm going to back it up just a second. Okay, so just frame by frame, there we go. Okay, so each one of these frames your subconscious picks up on, and these shapes mean something. All of this is being picked up by your mind. Not consciously, but like I said before, you're in a alpha state when you're watching TV to begin with. Sort of a first phase of hypnosis. Your brain is already in an alpha wave state. And then this starts up. So, SC. Subconscious. There we go. Now, at the very end of this, it's kind of interesting also. Just kind of going through. Alright, here we go again. Now, you will have noticed these almost identical shapes and imagery from other mnemonics that I've shown you already in the video. Almost identical to this, as they are if you research this, and which should logically tell you some things. It does tell you some things. So all of these shapes right here, very important. It looks like an interlocking, almost like a combination as you watch these and research these. Okay. Alright, and that is about it for these. I hope that everybody is really paying attention to this. And I find on this one in particular, just to make note on this video, these last few frames right there are very interesting. Very, very interesting. So anybody can download this stuff for themselves and take a look, and I hope that you will.
Shall I prepare the mnemonic station again?